Do you have a bit of a musical tonality when you're opening up a call, or don't you? Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales training agency based in the UK, USA, as well as serving clients worldwide. And we're back again on day 8 of 119 days of cold calling training to talk about the musical tonality when opening. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get an additional 17 strategies that are not shared in this training. So fundamentally, how you open a call is going to be really, really damn important. And one of the problems, if you're British and you're listening to this, is that we tend to be quite flat, guys. We tend to be, hi guys, it's Deepak here calling from Pearl Lemon. How you doing? Could you pass me the milk? Absolutely. How's your friend Fred? Great. I'm looking forward to talking to you next. Do you see how the tonality is broadly consistent across all of those elements that I've said? And that would be in keeping with this concept of the British gentleman and how typically we're let's say somewhat reserved and we keep the same tonality throughout. Having the ability to play with tone when you actually call and when you open, because it's, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, is absolutely critical to the impact that your communication and dialogue over the phone has. All they've got to make a judgment about you is your actual words as well as your tone. And words and tone plus energy that you bring to the call can lead to this kind of musical tonality that I talk about. So to give you a specific example of what that looks like, it'd be like, hey, good morning. It's Deepak here calling from Pearl Lemon. Is Richard around? Versus a, hi there, it's Deepak here calling from Pearl Lemon. Is Richard around? Now, both of them, you could argue, are okay, but definitely in terms of raising the energy and therefore interest of the actual call, it's more likely the former that's going to be the one that's better received, because typically most people will call in the same perfunctory fashion. Hi there, it's Deepak calling from Pearl Lemon. Is Richard around? Hi there, is Richard around? Hey, I was just wondering if I could speak to Richard. Versus a, hey, good morning. I was just wondering, is Richard around by any chance? Hello, good morning. My name's Deepak. I'm calling from Pearl Lemon. I was just wondering, is Richard around by any chance? Do you see, guys? And feel free to pause, rewind, play it back. Do you see the differences in that tonality and how there's such a difference with the way that you say things and therefore the gravitas, the impact, the actual message that it sends and how that message is received is so different and therefore much more powerful when you're bringing energy to the opening. So you definitely shouldn't therefore detract from keeping a neutral tone. Certainly, depending upon where the placement is within the call, you can determine fundamentally how you want to play it stylistically. But having the tonality, the musical tonality, as I call it, when opening is super important. If you want reference points, look for most Southern European, for example, cultures. The Italians, of course, are probably the most notable example of it, that they have this musical tonality when they speak. Look at the general typical American sales style. There's lots of speakers who speak on stage, and a lot of Brits, for example, myself included, would look to it and say, you know what, I can't bring that level of energy to that call. Or I can't bring that level of energy to the typical way that I communicate. You meet anybody from, for example, New York, and they're fast talking, lots of energy, pace and tempo. Now, it's the energy that we want to steal, if you will. And if you ever look at, famous sales trainers, it's typically, people that are from the US. The most preeminent relevant example is probably Grant Cardone, someone that I've listened to a lot. I've then, Zig Zig. There's a lot of people that you could refer to. Jordan Belfort talks about tonality when you're speaking and how important it is. And I think that that's a real easy way to differentiate your ability. And guys, like practice, pitch practice. Okay. So the way to improve that is to, you know, imbibe that into your one day-to-day conversation, two, the calls that you make, and then three, just fucking practicing. Do you know what I mean? So that could be as simple as just playing with tone and seeing if you can just say silly, strange, random stuff, because then when you bring it to a call and you're able to really demonstrate warmth and energy and emotion just through your tone, it's going to give you such a competitive advantage. Our head of business is Eon. He's based in Spain, but he's Greek. And it's no coincidence that when you hear his tone, you feel warmth and you feel energy. And it's such a distinct difference between someone, for example, who's a Brit because of the base from which a British person comes from versus anyone who's, for example, Southern European, or anyone who's from, for example, probably particular parts of the US. I don't know the country well enough, but I think and I hope that my point has been made clear. Musical tonality when opening and practicing the opening is going to make a big difference to the way that you're able to then convey your elevator pitch. Thanks, guys.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.